I've always seen myself if if I want to see a change, if I don't like something, I have to become part of that change, or I have to actively take charge in it. And that goes from high school to college to ever since I became aware and interested in politics, which has been, for a very long time since I became really aware of it. So it was inevitable that I would be an activist and be part of that because, I lived in California for 7-8 years, and I saw that there's so much to change in Egypt, There's so much to change in the world compared to here. I had the comparison. I was like, wow, people here have, we had this free speech zone area where really in Egypt you can't say what you want to say other than getting beaten or, arrested if you say something. And I was involved in school here. I was involved in ASOCC and in Colectivo Tonantzin and the immigration rights, and I was always passionate about the Palestinian cause and getting involved with that. So when I went to Egypt and I found the movement, it felt natural, like that's what I do. There's so much to change in Egypt, and I need to be part of that change. You could just see how this has been brewing for the past 10 years. And that's what gave me hope. It was going somewhere. I never doubted the revolution. I knew it was going to happen. If you were watching the events, the kind of uprise that was happening, slowly pressure cooker, it was going to burst at some point. And I never doubted that it wouldn't. I knew that it would. People were moving. They were saying, they were speaking up. And then when Tunisia happened, that was that. That inspired everybody to take down to the streets, to believe in the process of change through the revolution, through the power of the people. And it did, We were able to accomplish it through that way. And it's continuing. I lived here right when September 11th happened. I moved here in June 2001. Then in September, it happened. As you can see, I'm brown. My name is Ibrahim. Last name is Ibrahim. My family is Muslim. September 12th, we had FBI searching our house without a warrant, without anything, just because we lived in an Arab neighborhood and our names are Arabs. We're Arabs and we're Muslim. And there's a lot of injustice that I felt, being here and seeing Iraq get invaded and what was happening in Palestine. You have the second Palestinian Intifada. You have the whole history of the Palestinian struggle, and that would just inspire anybody to make their life better and be part of that that cause of that change. Searching for justice. And I feel like as an Arab, as Egyptian, it's my duty to do so. It's not like a burden. It's more something that comes within naturally. Like, it is part of my identity, and this is why I have to do it, because it's who I am. There's just so much injustice in that part of the world, and even here, to minorities, to different, to poor people. What happened in the Arab world is so amazing because it not only reshapes the whole region, the whole Arab region. You look at it and now public opinion will matter for the first time. And it's just such an inspiration to the rest of the world and humanity to be the power of change, that we own power as individuals to change our future, change our governments. Because when the government stops serving the people and still serve their own self-interest, that's when any revolution is possible. And it happened in all of the Arab world, and the effect is rippling all over the place. It's amazing. I want direct democracy from the bottom up, where people have the power to change. And this is what we accomplished in Egypt, and I think it needs to be accomplished everywhere, especially in America. Especially in this country. You're so distracted with so many things that are going on that you're forgetting about education, healthcare, the things that you pay for as a citizen, that they make you feel that you have the power with your tax money, when in fact it's truly an illusion. Look at who controls this country. And it's not even the White House, it's the bankers and the corporations and so on. And this needs to change. It needs to change. This country was founded on such good principles. You read the American Constitution, and it's a perfect piece of document. But you look at what actions are happening, and it's so there's such a gap. It's so not what it set out to be. I believe in the foundation of this country, but I'm sometimes even ashamed. I am a dual citizen. I am Egyptian and I am American. I'm a little bit of ashamed to be part of this country that is not only ruining itself from within, but also affecting so many other countries, being a superpower and having influence on a lot of other countries, that there needs to be a revolution. There needs to be a revolution in America. These principles that this revolution stood for are principles and values that anybody anywhere in the world strives for. They're human rights, free speech, democracy and freedom, and being respected and dignified. And yes, in a relative degree, it is more free here. You are able to, speak your mind and not get arrested and so on and so forth. But and that's something that Egypt wants too, but that's not everything. We need to see that transcend into policies, and affecting people's daily life for the best. I loved OCC. I just loved how it was diverse. I had a lot of friends from all over the place. I was dancing in the Indian club, which is the Bhangra team, OC Daisy club. I had my Latin American friends, which, we were like a Colectivo Tonantzin, and then I had also my Arabic friends, my Lebanese friends, and Jordanian, Palestinian. We'd talk about back home and so on and so forth. And I also had, the white American friends. And OCC, culturally and socially, it was a great place, but also academically, it was great because you get really good education. There are amazing professors here that have definitely influenced me, inspired me, and taught me a lot. And I keep this with me all the way. I mean, I spent more time at OCC than AUC. I spent here 3 years. I only spent like a year and a half in AUC. And I loved my time here. It brings back so much memory just being on campus, running to class, studying for tests, I took 21 units one semester, which was nuts. I was passionate about what I was studying, I took all the political science and sociology classes. I love all the sociology professors here, and someone like Dr. Irene Rickerson, who is such an inspiration. She does so much for humanity, and she does this fundraiser every year, the AIDS Foundation fundraising, and it's amazing to be part of that community. It was inspirational, and it taught me a lot. I think the Senate board that I was involved with that year, we had banned the Pledge of Allegiance and starting of our board meetings, which created a big controversy because the reason for doing so is that we didn't want to say under God. There was a lot of people that felt uncomfortable with that, and it created this big controversy. It was on CNN, and it was on all these networks, and then we had these Bible study groups that come on campus calling us godless campus and throwing Bibles at us. So it created this big political, controversy, and it just taught me how to, deal with different groups of people, I guess, and to deal with politics as it comes and goes. And we had to campaign and do all these things with the school, and the cuts and the budget and where money was going and the clubs and I remember there was a lot of there was a lot of scandal. I remember there was a lot of corruption that we were trying to investigate and try to create a change through the system, through the student government. I learned that politics is dirty. I learned that it's dirty, and it's hard to keep keep fighting for something that it's so institutionalized and it's so deeply rooted to change it. But that always taught me to never give up, because a little by little, we were creating change through the people around us and through the influence that we had and through our own experience. We were learning a lot and we were changing a lot, and that in itself was an educational experience that I carried with me all until now. I remember in 2006, Costa Mesa was going to become the first city that would train police officers to practice immigration laws. So we started campaigning for illegal immigration rights, so illegal immigrant rights, to not be discriminated against because you look brown or something. That you could be walking across the street and a police officer could take you, interrogate you, maybe deport you, and so on. And Coyotes Kalipoka, who's also was an AUC student, he got arrested, had a case with Alan Mansour, the mayor at the time. He used to protest at City Hall every Tuesday against this law that he would pass, and I don't think it passed, which is great. So that was a success. Our pressure, our mobilizing and our activism brought something.